Welcome to Faith and Torah. We're happy to have you here. We're going to start a reading in Joshua. So join with us if you want to Joshua chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yah, that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moshe, saying, Moshe, my servant, is dead. So now arise, pass over the Yarden, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the children of Yisrael. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads I have given you, as I spoke to Moshe. From the wilderness to this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all of the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea towards the going down of the sun is your border. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and courageous, to guard to do according to all the Torah which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your ways prosperous and act wisely. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged. For Yahweh your Elohim is with you wherever you go. And Yehoshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the midst of the camp, and command the people, saying, Prepare food for yourselves, for within 3 days you are passing over this Yarden, to go in to possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to possess. And Yehoshua spoke to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, saying, Remember the word which Moshe, servant of Yahweh, commanded you, saying, Yahweh your Elohim is giving you rest, and he shall give you this land. Let your wives, your little ones, and your livestock stay in the land which Moshe gave you beyond the Jordan. But you shall pass over your brothers in 5, all your brave fighters, and shall help them, until Yahweh has given your brothers rest, as unto you, so shall they also take possession of the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and shall possess that which Moshe your servant of Yahweh gave you beyond the Jordan, toward the rising of the sun. And they answered Yehoshua, saying, All that you've commanded us we do, and wherever you send us we go. According to all that we obeyed Moshe, so we obey you. Only let Yahweh your Elohim be with you, as he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your mouth and does not obey your word in all that you command is put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Joshua chapter 2. And Yehoshua son of Nun secretly sent out 2 men to Shittim to spy, saying, Go see the land and Jericho. And they went and came to the house of a woman, a whore, and her name was Rahab. And they laid down there. But it was reported to the sovereign of Jericho, saying, See, men of the children of Israel have come here tonight to search out the land. And the sovereign of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you, who have entered your house. And they have come to search out all the land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hid them. So she said, The men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. Then it came to be, as the gates were being shut, when it was dark, that the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, so that you overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof, and hidden them in the stalks of flax which she had laid out on the roof. And the men pursued them by the way of the Jordan to the fords. And they shut the gate afterward as soon as the pursuers had gone out. And before they lay down, she came up to them on the roof, and she said to the men, I know that Yahweh has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away because of you. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Sea of Reeds for you when you came out of Mizraim, and what you did to the two sovereigns of the Amorite who were beyond the Jordan, Sihon and Og, who you put under the ban. And when we heard, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in anyone because of you. And Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim in the heavens above and on earth beneath. And now please swear to me by Yahweh, since I have shown you loving commitment, that you also show me loving commitment to my father's house, and shall give me a true token, and shall spare my father and my mother and my brothers and my sisters, and all that I have, and shall deliver our lives from death. And the men said to her, Our lives for yours. If you do not expose this matter of ours, then it shall be when Yahweh has given us the land that we shall treat you in loving commitment and truth. So she let them down by a rope through a window, for her house was on the city wall, and she dwelt on the wall. And she said to them, Go to the mountain, lest the pursuers come upon you, and you shall hide there 3 days until the pursuers have returned, and afterwards go on your way. And the men said to her, We are released from this oath of yours, which you have made us swear, unless when we come into the land, you bind this line of scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. And unless you bring your father and your mother and your brothers and all your father's household to your own home, it shall be that anyone who goes outside the doors of your house into the street, his blood is on his own head, and we are innocent. And anyone who is with you in the house, his blood is on our head if a hand is laid on him. And if you expose this matter of ours, then we shall be released from your oath which you have made us swear. And she said, Let it be according to your words. She sent them away, and they went. And she bound a scarlet cord in the window. So they left and came to the mountain and stayed there 3 days until the pursuers returned. And the pursuers sought them in all the way, but did not find them. Then the two men returned and came down from the mountain and passed over. And they came to Yehoshua, son of Nun, and related to him all that had befallen them. And they said to Yehoshua, Truly Yahweh has given all the land into our hand, and also all of the inhabitants of the land have melted away because of us. Joshua chapter 3. And Yehoshua rose in the morning, and they set out from Shittim and came to the Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and stayed there before they passed over. And it came to be after 3 days that the officers went into the midst of the camp. And they commanded the people, saying, When you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your Elohim, and the priests of the Levites bearing it, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Only keep a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it, so that you know which way to go, for you have not passed over this way before. And Yehoshua said to the people, Set yourselves apart, for tomorrow Yahweh is doing wonders in your midst. And Yehoshua spoke to the priests, saying, Take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. So they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, This day I begin to make you great before the eyes of all Yisrael, so that they know that I am with you as I was with Moshe. And you command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, When you come to the edge of the water of the Jordan, stand in the Jordan. And Yehoshua said to the children of Yisrael, Come near, and hear the words of Yahweh your Elohim. And Yehoshua said, By this you shall know that the living El is in your midst, and that he is certainly driving out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites, the Hivites, Perizzites, and the Girgashites and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. See, the ark of the covenant of the master of all the earth is passing over before you in the Jordan. And now take for yourselves 12 men from the tribes of Yasharel, 1 man from every tribe. And it shall be, as soon as the soles of your feet of the priests who bear the ark of Yah, the master of all the earth, come to rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan are cut off, the waters that come down from upstream, and stand as a heap. And it came to be, when the people set out from their tent to pass over the Jordan, the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. And as those bearing the ark came to the Jordan, and their feet of the priests bearing the ark dipped in the edge of the water, now the Jordan overflows all its banks during all the times of the harvest, that the waters which came down from upstream stood still and rose in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Sarathan. And the waters going down into the sea of Arabah, the salt sea, were completely cut off, and the people passed over opposite Jericho. And the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of Yahweh stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan. And all Yasharel passed over on dry ground until all of the nation had completely passed over the Jordan. Joshua chapter 4. And it came to be, when the entire nation had completely passed over the Jordan, that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Take for yourselves 12 men from the people, 1 man for every tribe, and command them, saying, Take for yourselves 12 stones from here, out of the midst of the Jordan, from the place where the priest's feet stood firm, and you shall bring them with you and leave them in the camp in which you spend the night. And Yehoshua called the 12 men whom he had appointed from the children of Yasharel, 1 man from every tribe. And Yehoshua said to them, Pass over before the ark of Yah, your Elohim, into the midst of the Jordan, and each one of you take up a stone on his shoulder according to the number of the tribes of the children of Yasharel, so that this shall be a sign in your midst, when your children ask in times to come, saying, What do these stones mean to you? When you shall answer them that the waters of Jericho were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off, and the stones shall be a remembrance to the children of Yasharel forever. And the children of Yasharel did so as Yehoshua commanded, and took up 12 stones from the midst of the Jordan. And Yahweh had spoken to Yehoshua according to the number of the tribes of the children of Yasharel, and took them over with them to their camp, and laid them down there. Yehoshua also set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests who bore the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there to this day. And the priests who bore the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until every matter was finished that Yahweh had commanded Yehoshua to speak to the people according to all Moshe had commanded Yehoshua. And the people hastened and passed over. And it came to be, when all the people had completely passed over the ark of Yah, and the priests passed over in the presence of the people. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh passed over in fives before the children of Yasharel, as Moshe had spoken to them. About 40,000 armed ones of the army passed over before Yahweh for battle, to the desert plain of Jericho. On that day Yahweh made Yehoshua great before the eyes of Yasharel, and they feared him as they had feared Moshe all the days of his life. And Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Command the priests who bear the ark of the witness, and let them come up from the Jordan. And Yehoshua commanded the priests, saying, Come up from the Jordan. And it came to be, when the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh had come from the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet touched the dry land, that the waters of the Jordan returned to their place and flowed over all its banks as before. And the people came up from the Jordan on the 10th day of the first new moon, and they camped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho.
And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan, Yehoshua set up in Gilgal. And he said to the children of Yisrael, saying, when your children ask their fathers in times to come, saying, what are these stones? Then you shall let your children know, saying, Yisrael passed over this Jordan on dry ground. And Yahweh, your Elohim, dried up the waters of the Jordan before you until you had passed over, as Yahweh your Elohim did to the sea of reeds, which he dried up before us until we had passed over, so that all the people of the earth shall know that the hand of Yahweh, that he is strong, so that you shall fear Yahweh your Elohim forever. The blessing of Yah be upon his word. Until next reading, next time we'll see you, chapter 5.